Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome the opportunity to be here to offer a few goodwill words to my good friend Emma Edieji on the occasion of the launching of his book, Democracy Without Development. And also to say that the Ford Foundation is very happy to be associated with the event of today. I remember about a year or so ago when Edieji kept harassing me. He wants to write a book about the developmental state, which apparently he had written his PhD thesis on, and to elaborate on the current situation in Nigeria. I didn't need much persuasion to say we'll provide a little support to make that happen. Because since 1999, almost in every beer parlor you go to or any realization spot, people talk about democracy without dividend. People talk about democracy without participation, without representation. And then you have the paradox of increasing participation without representation, and everybody wanting to know or preferring his or her own ideas about how we came to the juncture where we are today and what we could do. And I felt if anybody was qualified to comment on that development, Edieji should be one of them. Because right from the early 90s when we worked together in CLO, under the leadership of our then President Ayobe, who is in the audience, Edieji has not hidden his passion for the development of Nigeria. And the question is, why do we have democracy without development? I know we have two panel sections that are going to do justice to it today. But the good thing about goodwill message is that you can direct it in any direction you want. And since we are waiting for the dignitaries in quote who will come and share their thoughts with us, I felt I should share one or two ideas I have about how we got to where we are today, which can inform the discussion. I think the book talked about it in chapter 3, where the author discussed about Godfatherism and the subversion of democracy and development. And my view is that when we call it Godfatherism, we're actually belittling a fundamental problem that has bedeviled the Fourth Republic in Nigeria. Because for me, it's not just Godfatherism. It's actually criminal networks hijacking our polities and producing criminal governance. And when you have criminal governance, you cannot have development because it's all about hijacking the state to feed fat the individuals that supported both the electoral process and the candidates that emerge out of it. And then the next question is, how come we all are talking about criminal governance, Godfatherism today? Why is the Fourth Republic so, if you like, afflicted with this phenomenon when you compare it with the previous republics, whether it's the Second Republic or the First Republic? And my thinking, my, if you like, proposition is that it's actually related to the process or the nature of registration of political parties that we had in 1998 leading to the elections. What do I mean by this? A lot of us will remember that when the political parties were being represented, there was this criteria about meeting certain level of penetration, being national in nature, national in character, spreading all over the 36 states of Nigeria, having offices that are verified by INEC before a party will be registered to run. And you ask yourself, coming from over 15 years of military rule? Who are the people in the country that have the kind of resources to put together this structure of parties before they are registered? 36 state offices, all in one place before they are registered. And my thinking is that it's only those who fed fat during the military and have amassed so much wealth that they didn't know what to do with it, that were able to put together the kind of resources that we needed to build these parties. And that's why we ended up with two very national parties with the spread all over the country and the resources required. But at the end of the day, what did they do? They lost the people. So you had situations where a few individuals could put several billions together to set up these offices, and they didn't need the people. And the kind of democracy that produced is perhaps a democracy without the people. So you replace wherever you see the people in the definition of that democracy with Godfathers. So it's a government of Godfathers, by Godfathers, for Godfathers. And when they completely took over the system, you will be expecting too much to ask them to deliver dividends of democracy in terms of development. And you look at the kind of party system we had in the Second and the First Republic. These are parties that are rooted in the mass, whether they are locally based or ethnic based. There is a correlation between whoever emerged in terms of representing those parties and the people who were behind them. So you had a situation where, whether it's in First Republic or Second Republic, no one party was able to win at the first ballot and needed to go into alliance with the other parties to be able to produce a government. And all those people who came into the alliance with the parties that eventually formed government know who they are representing. So there are people who can resign any day. The government they are serving did not represent the interests of the people that put them forward. But today, none of the people who are holding positions in government dare resign from the government. So a president can fire them any day, but because they have no loyalty, no allegiance to any community or any constituency, they would then go like that. And the question is, how do we fix this? And for me, since Mokwe started by quoting Chinua Achebe, there was one sentence credited to Chinua Achebe, I think he's in No Longer Artist, where he said, "It doesn't matter how fast you go, so long as you're headed in the wrong direction, you must go back to ground zero and start afresh." And the question is, what do I mean by ground zero? It's not about deconstructing the Fourth Republic. It's actually all the people, all the stakeholders in the Fourth Republic agreeing that we have veered off from the right path, that we need to come to a place, a table, a platform to discuss and ask ourselves, is this the democracy that we all gave our adult life to? Is this the kind of system that a lot of people were expelled, a lot of people were detained, a lot of people were maimed, brutalized, and all of that? Here we are 21 years later, and it's not leading us anywhere. And until we agree to do that and set up a framework that will guide us on a path that would lead to basically doing what the people that elected those in government want them to do, we will come back here again to discuss. So on behalf of the Ford Foundation, I'd like to congratulate my good friend Emma Edieji for putting together this book, which challenges all of us in the social sector, private sector, and public sector to also take time out from our busy schedule to put down our thoughts. That is how society develops. That's how you build a knowledge society and learn from the mistakes of the past. It's unfortunate that in today's Nigeria, those who govern us do not write anymore. Whereas if you look at the First Republic, everybody committed to writing. But today, the much you see is a harvest or compilation of speeches or photographs and are published and launched without any substance to them. If you look at the book that we are launching today, you will agree with me that it has a substance, and that's the kind of thing we want to see going forward. Thank you.